Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Nikki and this is another speed build for my second household, Bite and Bark. So again, I haven't built this starter home from scratch. It is an existing build in the world of Oasis Springs, and it's where Ada Nightshade and Harry Pawter has to live together. So this is me creating the home for these household members, and their colors are black and white, but not really white because I ended up putting Harry in lots of neutral colors, so creams, beiges, light browns, grays maybe, I can't quite remember. So I wanted a home that was both of those colors, just like how the previous speed build was green and red for the Canvas and Cosmos household. Sorry if you hear any noise in the background, my cat is playing with his toys. So I actually really struggled with making this home because I had two somewhat conflicting styles in my head that I wanted to merge successfully. And the two styles was, because Ada is a vampire and the color she represents is black, I had it in my head that she would have quite, a more traditional, old school, slightly gothic aesthetic when it comes to her home interior. And then Harry, he is fresh, on a completely different wavelength to Ada. And so I wanted his style to be quite modern and minimal. And trying to merge these two styles together in one home was a bit of a challenge for me, but that is just how I imagined their home would be, their shared home would be. So the first thing I kind of quickly decided is that having a black and white home was just a bit too stark for me. You may have seen that I tried to make the walls white, and it didn't sit well with me, that it was just that stark. So I thought I'd soften it a bit by focusing on more neutral tones. So there's still white in the home, but it's not strictly white. So it's blacks, shades of black and shades of neutrals. Another thing about this world, Oasis Spring, and I didn't remember this or realize this, is that the lighting is completely different. So I began the video working on the exterior, and the exterior white comes up as beige anyway, or cream, and that was a bit off-putting. Not off-putting, but it was a bit it threw me a bit because I wasn't sure if the colors I was placing were actually the colors that they were because of the lighting, but I had to work with it. So at the moment we are inside the interior and I'm working with the kitchen, and again trying to merge these two contrasting ideas or colors together. And I struggled with the kitchen a lot, not even the cabinets. I chose the cabinets or the counters quite quickly. It was the flooring and the wall that I changed so many times. So the floor and the wall as it is now is not how it ended, and I'll keep going back to it and keep changing it, and only when I've done made my final choice, I'll tell you that's the final choice. But at the moment this is not, but everything else is pretty much correct, the same. So the cabinets and the placement is the same. Here, I think actually doing speed builds or just builds in general has identified for me that I really struggle with bedrooms. I find bedrooms really quite difficult. I don't know why. I watch a lot of other builders and they mention that they find they struggle with bathrooms. I struggle with bedrooms, and I'm not quite sure why. I think the more I do it, the better I will get, or more used to it I will get. But I will keep going back to the bedrooms and just changing something. I don't have yet the full confidence to just enter a bedroom and be like, this is how I want it to look. So especially again, because I'm catering to very specific personalities. And so with Ada, she's a vampire. So I not only wanted it to suit her aesthetic as her being this dark gothic person, but also I needed it to cater to who she actually is as an occult. And so it's a very dark room. I originally just put small windows in there. I changed it in the end, but I wanted it to look quite draped and dark, and so she just put coverings, curtains on the walls. But I will explain that more when I get to it, because I've changed room again. So at the moment, so in this legacy, Harry he won't have a formal job. He will make money from spa activities. So what I really wanted to do for this home is to have a separate room where he can do those spa activities. And I don't know if I'm going to change it into a business residential straight away. So what I mean by that is, with the businesses and hobbies expansion pack, you can turn your home, a section of your home, into a business. I don't know if I'm going to do that straight away. I think, and I'll check this when I start playing the legacy, I think you can just tend the massage table and tend the chair. Is it like a manicure chair? I don't even know, where they do like hand massages and feet massages. I think you can just offer it to people and tend it like that, a bit like how you tend a market stall or table, I think. I'm not sure. Again, this is my way of exploring the game, but I thought we'd start it off slowly like that, not just into a full-blown business up and running. But I did want it to look ready-made for, he's moved into this place and he's managed to make one of the rooms into just a mini business where he has one of each thing. And I thought that was quite cute. And from the outside as well, sorry, I just hit the mic. From the outside as well, I wanted it to be quite clear that one door is the entrance to the residential area, and then on the right side is a separate door for his customers. So his customers will only enter this room and won't have access to the rest of the home. So sorry, I'm just laughing because I was going to say, again, with the previous speed build, I made it a limitation where I could only use items from the packs that the household members are from. And so the packs that I primarily use are base game, because Ada represents base game, and spa day. I also included the vampire packs and the werewolves packs, although I didn't use too much items from the werewolves pack because I felt like they were quite rustic and in not quite good condition, and so that didn't really fit the modern style that I have in mind for Harry. So those are the packs that I focused on. However, there are certain moments when, especially towards the end, because like I mentioned in the beginning, I really struggled with this starter home. So in the end, I just started using items from other packs because I just had a very strong idea in mind, and just sometimes certain things just weren't available to me in the packs within that limitation. For example, Harry's bed. I really didn't think that any of the beds that were in base game or the vampire, what was that laugh? The vampire or werewolves just did not fit like modernity. So I ended up going for a different bed. So yeah, I'm trying to be strict, but not too strict. You know, at the end of the day, I want to like what I design. I want to have fun with what I make. And you have to kind of ride the line between this is a rule, but if the rule stops it from being fun, then why follow that rule, you know? So again, is this the final wall and floor? No, still not the final wall or floor for the kitchen. So again, that's not what I end up choosing, but I really liked that that one wall is beige and that there's only like a black wall against where the fridge is. That fridge is from Spa Day, and that there are the modern cream seats that go with the black counters in the kitchen. So yeah, you'll see throughout that I'm trying to experiment and balance these two almost conflicting interior styles. So with these seating area, the leather couches are from Vampire Pack, and I just love them. I think they just look so great. In the end, I don't keep that TV because I felt like they aren't really a TV household. Ada is, I believe, she's going to be an astronaut, so she's really into her studies, her science, logic, and things like that. Harry is going to be meditating and doing yoga, and so I didn't think that a TV was vital in this home, so I got rid of that and just ended up putting a new seating area. I do want each household to have a computer, like I mentioned before, and a bookshelf. So there's certain items in this home that I definitely wanted to fit in. But again, you can see here that I'm trying to merge these styles, and somewhat struggling, but getting there in the end. At the moment, we are working on Ada's room, and I actually quite had fun with Ada's room. Actually, this reminds me, oh my god, another reason why I struggled with this build so much is because so I try to film across a few days when I have time, and one of the days that I ended up filming, I filmed Ada's room, the living room, and Harry's room actually. And then I checked my recording software, and my recording software froze, and I didn't notice, so I didn't capture any of the footage. And so I was so annoyed with myself because I was filming for like between 1.5 and 2 hours, and I ended up with some stuff I liked, and I had to delete everything, remove everything, and re-record it. So this is me re-recording a room that I had actually already decorated, but because I had to do it again, I think I actually did a better job the second time round on what I ended up designing. So that was another difficult thing that I had with this recording, this build. I just spent way longer on it than I had originally planned to, because I essentially did it twice. So yeah, like I said, this is my room for Ada, and you can see that she has a coffin. So this is actually something I don't know. Can vampires woohoo in coffins? I don't know this. I hope she can, because I want each, not even one, I need each household member to be able to have babies. And so if she can't actually woohoo in her own coffin, god, what a sentence, that would be a bit of an issue. So I haven't tested that yet. I haven't even looked it up. But if you already know, let me know. But yeah, if she can't woohoo in a coffin, then I will replace it with just a normal bed. But I thought her room looked really cool, and you can see her furniture in her bedroom is kind of, it looks like it needs restoration. It's kind of old. She doesn't really care for things like that. She doesn't have a high need to have the best or the prettiest things. She's more science-based. She's more into her studies and academically minded. So having a beautiful room is not her priority, although I still think her room is very beautiful. I do love it. I also love how, I don't know if it's conventional, it feels a little bit unconventional, but I like how I put their desk at the end of the kitchen. So it's kind of like this traditional looking desk up against a very modern kitchen, and I thought that looked quite interesting. Ignore this. This is not what I end up doing for Harry's room at all. This is me actually trying to go through all the beds and realizing this isn't working, because I really just had like his spa room is so nice, so modern, so clean, so minimal, and I really wanted his bedroom to be kind of like an extension of that room, because I'm coming from the mind of he has designed this, right? He has set it up in the way that suits him. So for his bedroom to look different didn't, just because it fit within the limitations, didn't make much sense to me. So yeah, I keep going to his room and then giving up and then doing something else. But yeah, I had a lot more success with creating Ada's room more quickly than Harry's, and so yeah, I really love like the wallpaper and the furniture, and the vampire pack really did come in quite handy for her bedroom. I really quite like this style, but also when she exits her room, it's not too jarring. So this is actually the final floor. It's gone now, but that was the final floor and wall for the kitchen I ended up choosing, so that won't change again. And I like how the floor is identical to the wall. I think it's from the sleek bathroom pack, and so yeah, it just looks nice that the same style, pattern, material has gone across the floor and up the wall. So I quite like that for the kitchen. And my favorite thing to do is clutter. So here I'm now trying to clutter Ada's room, just make it a little bit more lived in, a little bit more highlighting her personality with the books and different pieces that she would be interested in. Another thing that it was a little bit tough, because I wanted to have like science items or things to do with her career in her room, but I don't think I would have had to introduce another pack quite heavily to do that, and I didn't want to stray too far out of the packs. I think packs in like Get to Work would have had lots of nice items that signified her being into science, but I didn't want to introduce that too heavily, because obviously I'll have another household that is representing the Get to Work pack, and so I didn't want to repeat any items or make any homes look too similar to each other. So yeah, this is all about kind of creating homes that are different from each other, but also representative of the household members that will be living in there. This is me working on the sorry, I'm laughing because I've said this before and I'll say it again. I struggle so much with landscaping. The outside is not where I belong. I don't know what I'm doing. This is like, I actually cut out a lot of footage of me struggling because it was just struggle bus central with the outside here. I'm slowly understanding how I want it to look perhaps at this stage, but I'm still like, yeah, this is just me trial and error on the landscape and on the outside, because I wanted it to look neat. I wanted it to look manicured, but also I didn't want it to look like it needed too much maintenance. So, you know, neither of these Sims are really that invested in the outside. Obviously they want their homes to look nice, but they're not going to be like planting flowers or maintaining the plants on the outside. So I just wanted it to look nice and inviting. It's still somewhat a public space as well, which is the right side of the home, but I didn't want it to look like they really took so much time and care in the outside. I just wanted it to be neat. I just wanted it to be tidy. And so here I'm actually finally trying to I'm just thinking I'm just gonna border this off. So I liked what I did with the hedges on the right side, so I just repeated it on the left side and then just fenced that off as well. I think even off camera, when I had to go back to it to save it to the gallery because I forgot to do that, I even removed a bit more of the plants in the front lawn, just because I just wanted it to look simple and minimal and clean. So when I start playing, you'll see those slight differences, but this is more just to do with appearance, really, rather than trying to reflect their personality. One of my favorite things is when I watch builders do this, which is putting the ivy and the plants on the wall. Do I know how to do it to make it look as good as other Sims 4 builders? Evidently not. This is so embarrassing for me. This is so embarrassing. I thought I've seen like other Simmers do it all the time. It looks so easy. It looks so basic, and I couldn't do it. To me, it doesn't look that good. I guess I just, practice will make perfect eventually, but please, I am begging you not to judge me on how I ended up doing the ivy on the wall. I just wanted it to be on the left side because that wall is Ada's wall, essentially. It's the other side of her bedroom, and so I just thought it looked a little bit like I am bringing her side outside. Please just pretend that made sense. So I wanted it to look like, yes, people are coming to this building or this address to get some lovely spa treatments, but there's something a little bit suspicious over there. Something like, there's more than just Harry and his pedicure treatments going on. There's something a little bit off with this home. That's kind of what I want that feeling to be when you step into a new place and you're just there for one thing, but there's just something kind of ringing a slight yeah. Anyway, so again, I am still cluttering the different spaces, and I just love Ada's bedroom. Actually, I really do love it. the thing, also another thing that I try to avoid is, so you know, obviously you can't build without lighting, so I always put like the generic saucer lights or spotlights in all the homes. So just so I can see what I'm doing, but I'll almost always try to replace those spotlights with other ceiling and wall lights, because again, those items are still part of what makes the home unique. And so, and also each lighting gives off a different coloring or tone as well. And I wanted, I didn't want the harsh white light of the spotlights, so I found these like hanging lanterns that kind of really suit the vibe of the home. And then I chose like slightly modern hanging ceiling lights for both the spa room and Harry's room. And so yeah, as you can see, the lighting is completely different now. It's a little bit more warm, a little bit more yellow, a little bit more kind of, what am I trying to say? Just less harsh, less stark. I wanted it to have a low lighting feel, again for Ada's sake as well, because she's a vampire. I also love this small seating area in front of the bookcase, and my favorite thing to do is, what really makes a room special for me, or more exciting, or visually good looking, are the little things like the rugs, the clutter items, the lighting, those little things that kind of look like someone lives here. And so I always try to leave that to the end roughly, you know, pictures on the wall as well. That's when I start to feel like, yes, I'm not just building like a boring show home that's empty. I'm actually making something that I would love to spend time in. So that's what I'm doing here now, with just adding these small little things in the home. As you can see, I still haven't gone to Harry's room, because even though I recorded his room before, I didn't even like what I did before when I had to delete it and start again. So I'm clearly leaving that till last. But another thing I wanted to do also was still introduce contrast to these spaces. So with Harry's spa room, I still introduce like the window frames are black, there's black accessories. I kind of didn't want it to look too bland on the eye, but I also still wanted it to look like it was like he's at the beginning or start of his business. So just really simple, not over cluttered. I think even like with that table by the mirror, oh yeah, you may have noticed that the mirror doesn't reflect. I think when I play, I'll set it to reflect, but if you remember from the last video, I mentioned how my computer was lagging really, really hard and I couldn't record and work on the build at the same time. And so one of the suggestions was to decrease the settings on like things like reflection quality, for example. And so that is why that mirror looks that bad. And I didn't even realize until I put up a really big mirror until in this build where I realized, oh, that's the difference. So I don't actually know if that is really something that affects the speed or the GCP, oh my god. I think I'm legit trying to say CPU. I don't know if that reflects or affects the CPU that much, but I can record and that's what matters to me. And so here we are finally on Harry's room. And I think this bed that I ended up choosing, because this is actually like exactly the type of bed that I see for Harry in this room, but I think it's from the San Myshuno packs. Is it City Living? I think this is a City Living bed. And so I just thought, you know what, we're going for a City Living bed. These are my walls. I'm not hurting anyone. I can break my own walls. So, and actually I think these curtains are from Island Living. So, you know, let's just say that Harry is a rule breaker. But yeah, I wanted it to look very clean, minimal, modern. Those were the keywords that I was kind of trying to bear in mind. Have you noticed that when you try to place a mirror on the wall, it just feels way too high? It just feels like it just goes up too high on the wall, and I find that really annoying. I mean, I'm using the tool mod here. I didn't actually think to maybe bring the mirror that I did want to use down with the tool mod, but I just feel like Sims aren't that tall. Like, I'm not sure why that is just a default height for mirrors. But yeah, I wanted to have some, like, a few spa items, just a few little plants, things that kind of make it fresh, make it kind of easy to live in, towels. So yeah, this is his room that I'm working on, but I remember thinking there's still something not quite, the word I'm thinking of is kind of inviting. And I think I ended up concluding that it was the walls itself. So I changed the wallpaper, and I think once I changed the wallpaper, I was thinking, oh, it looks so much nicer now. So I also found this this scratched scratched painting in the werewolf space pack. Am I okay? In the werewolves pack. Look at this. Oh, look at this wallpaper. It's so lovely. It just changes the room so much. It just makes it so much nicer. And funnily enough, it's from the vampire pack, so it kind of has that that joint twin effect with the next door room, even though it's a different pattern and a different color, but still there's a connectivity there because they're both from the same pack. So I thought I really did enjoy that. But yeah, I found this framed scratched picture in the Werewolves pack, and I thought it looked a little bit like Ada, so that's kind of like a nod to his feelings towards Ada. I tested this. I tested the routing and to make sure things work with the actual Sims that will live here. So Harry and Ada, I brought them in just to see if they could still access everything. Anyway, let me stop rambling. We are coming up to the end of the speed build. Let me show you around. Hi guys, so this is their home from the outside. Just a simple, cute black and white structure. A really cute, just simple manicured front yard. On the left side we have the doors to the main residence, and on the right side we have the door to Harry's spa. So if we go through, we can just quickly see that on the immediate right side of the residential door we have their kitchen, and we have their living room to the left. We also have this really cute seating area by the bookshelf. Just outside of Harry's spa room, we have a fireplace and then a single chair if you just want to be cozy and alone, maybe read a book. In here is Harry's spa. He's just getting down, doing some dancing. And then we have a public bathroom, somewhat public because it's open for the customers, the people who visit the spa. We have someone calling us. No, thank you. If we turn around here, we have Harry's room on the right side. So really clean, minimal, fresh and bright, quite modern as well. And then the stark contrast to that is Ada's room, which is really dark, quite traditional, and just super cozy in its own way. We have a very manicured front yard as well, and I kept the backyard really simple as well because I don't think they'll be spending too much time outside, but just to add a few gameplay items. This is a handiwork table for Ada. She also has a telescope because she's into science, and then just a cute seating area outside as well. And I wanted Ada to be able to enjoy the outside without being too exposed to the sun, so I just created a covered area for the outside as well, so she can enjoy the outside without it being harmful to her. So yeah, that is the entire build. Let me know your thoughts, and I am looking forward to doing the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you if you made it to the end. Please do let me know your thoughts. If you have any tips, tricks or suggestions. If you enjoyed this video, please do like, and please consider subscribing if you want to see more and support the channel. But until then, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.